live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening, coming to you live from the National News Studio. Welcome to the news. My name is Clifford Richards.
I'm Dilanjali Ananda, and these are the headlines.
Further protests requesting educational reforms. Necessity for an education system compatible with modernity, stressed at the Anuradhapura dialogue. An education system not being a burden to both parents and children will be created, states the Prime Minister. A plan to complete renovation of the Northern Railway line by April. Several places on that line to be temporarily closed from tomorrow. Complaints regarding financial fraud via social media and mobile phones. Police informs not to get trapped. 250 Arogya healthcare centers during this year. A saving of 18 million rupees annually for the Sri Lankan Army due to Indian vehicle donation. Black soldier fly to solve the garbage problem. The European countries highly condemned the new tariff decision by President Trump. Well, topping the news this evening, National Campaign for Educational Reform says a strongly felt need persists for a new educational system that suits modernity.
This fact has been reiterated at a dialogue on educational reforms held in Anuradhapura today. The discussion was organized under the theme, You Are the Future, Learn to Win Tomorrow. Large group including parents, teachers and public representatives have attended the event. Senior lecturer of the Bhikkhu University, Venerable Dr. Panamure Chandimathera, said that the traditional method of rote learning and modernization or memorization is no longer valid in the modern era, emphasizing that educational reforms are essential for building a society that aligns with contemporary global standards. He observed that the current examination-oriented system creates a ruthless and competitive environment, placing immense psychological pressure on children from as early as the grade 5 scholarship exam. Reflecting on the freedom enjoyed by previous generations, he argued that the new modular system is designed to restore that balance for today's students. He further remarked that any opposition to these reforms constitutes a grave crime against the future, likening the current resistance to the historical opposition faced by C.W.W. Karnangara when he introduced free education, which is a move that ultimately secured the educational rights of the nation. Minister Vasantha Samarasinghe addressed the specific criticism directed at the new English education module, particularly the claims that it promotes indecency or inappropriate content. He noted that critics have pointed to a segment in the history of the pen friend concept, which has now evolved into digital friendships via the internet and social media platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp. Responding to concerns regarding the controversial website mentioned in the curriculum, which discusses LGBTQ community, and the minister argued that such topics are already prevalent in society. He cited data indicating that Sri Lanka has consistently ranked highly in global searches for sexual content over the past decade, suggesting that the current social environment is already exposed to these realities. He concluded by asserting that the educational reforms aim to transform this debased social landscape into a more civilized and progressive one, and that the opposition is merely an attempt to stall this necessary advancement.
A protest was held today in front of the bus stand in Anuradhapura town that's requesting to implement the new educational reforms from this year as promised. Well, it was organized by a group of parents and also teachers of the Anuradhapura district. Well, the protesters requested to take steps to implement educational reforms from this year itself for the children, rectifying any error in the concerned modules in the new educational reforms. They stressed the educational reforms plan to bring about new expectations to the children by training teachers for the purpose, and spending a huge amount of money should not be rolled back. Parents and teachers also state that if it is not done so, island-wide protests will be conducted until the new educational reforms are provided Protesters stated that the government must immediately implement the proposed grade 6 education reforms. Despite recent controversies surrounding specific modules, they emphasized that while there may be issues with the English module, the remaining subject modules should be taught as planned to avoid jeopardizing the children's education. Parents and educators participating in the demonstrations expressed deep frustration over the sudden decision to postpone the reforms until 2027, arguing that schools and teachers had already undergone extensive training for the new modular system. The protesters further claimed that the suspension of these reforms is an injustice to students who were eager to move away from the outdated exam-heavy methods towards a more creative and holistic learning approach. Some parents highlighted that the new system was experienced and expected to reduce the physical burden of heavy school bags and provide better educational pathways for the children. They called on the President and the Prime Minister to reinstate the program, accusing political opponents of sabotaging the country's educational progress for personal and partisan gain.
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuri states that an education system will be created that does not become a burden to either parents or children. She expressed these views during a ceremony held yesterday at the Velasquez Government School in Puttlam. An awareness program for education authorities in the Puttlam district and the inspection of schools affected by disasters took place yesterday. During the visit, the foundation stone for the teachers' quarters at Velasquez Government School in Madurankulya was laid with the participation of Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuri. Awards and certificates were also presented by the Prime Minister to students of this college who received all island honours. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuri said that the government is striving to ensure every child receives a high-quality education through current reforms, regardless of the size or location of their school. She emphasized that the goal is to broaden the students' horizons, reveal new opportunities and open practical paths for them to achieve their goals. While discussions often focus on modules and textbooks, she also stated that these reforms go much deeper than just curriculum changes. The Prime Minister further sought to empower children so that their dreams become a reality rather than remaining just a vision. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuri also went on an observation tour of Puttlam Saira Muslim College yesterday. During the visit, she noted that the current government's objective is to provide the best for children through sound data-driven policies. The official school website, designed by students of Puttlam Saira College, was also launched in the presence of the Prime Minister. Responding to a proposal made by the principal regarding obtaining approval to start the advanced level science stream, the Prime Minister stated that children should be provided knowledge across all fields, not just the science stream. She emphasized that all schools in the district must work collaboratively towards this goal, asserting that the government's mission is not to create a divided society. She further highlighted the importance of producing well-rounded children with an understanding of various fields rather than being limited to a single subject. Minister Professor A.H.M.H. Abiratna, several other people's representatives and government officials were also present at the occasion.
Well, according to the Department of Railways, several places will be temporarily closed from tomorrow due to the renovation work in the Northern Railway line. General Manager of Railways Ravindra Padmapriya said that the train service in the North-South Railway line has been planned to be normalized before the forthcoming Sinhala New Year in a media briefing held today in Colombo. Ravindra Padmapriya, General Manager of Railways, emphasized that the following extensive damage were 80% of the railway network was destroyed by the tsunami. Operations on the northern and eastern lines have been maintained on a highly limited basis. To address this, the modernization project has been launched through an Indian concessional loan to fully restore connectivity for the public. Consequently, the Maho and Anuradhapura section will be temporarily closed starting 19th of this month, followed by a complete closure of the Maho-Omanthe stretch on the 26th. However, operations from Omanthe to Kankesanture are scheduled to resume on the 27th as work continues on the southern portions of the line.
මහව දක්වා කොටස නවීකරණය කරන තුරු. මේ අතරතුර අපි අමතර දුම්රිය වාර ආරම්භ කරනවා මඩකලපුව දුම්රිය මාර්ගය, තිරුකුණාමලයි දුම්රිය මාර්ගය, කොළඹ කොටුවේ සිට තිරුකුණාමලයි දුම්රියක් සහ මඩකලපුව දුම්රිය දෙක අලුතෙන් දැනට තියෙන දුම්රියන්ට අමතරව ආරම්භ කරනවා. උත්තරම මාර්ගයේ දුම්රිය ධාවනය පලාවි දක්වා දීර්ඝ කරනවා ලබන සතියේ සිට. මහව ඕමන්ත
Chintaka Jayasekara, Director of the Northern Railway Line Reconstruction Project, said to ensure continued mobility during the Northern Line closure, the department is introducing additional services including 2 new trains from Colombo number 4 to both Trincomalee and Batticaloa. Furthermore, starting next week, the Puttalam line service will be extended. Priyantha Digala, Chief Engineer, Ways and Works, said technical efforts are currently focused on ensuring that the Omanthe and Kankasanture section remains operational while undergoing maintenance that does not disrupt the regular traffic. Simultaneously, work is proceeding to restore the rail stretch between Madhuvachia and Mannar. Asanka Samarasinghe, Superintendent of Railways Travel, said commuter services have been adjusted to include daily operations of the Pulathisi Intercity Express and the Uday Devi train to Batticaloa starting from the 20th. The Trincomalee night mail train will also resume service on the same date following the closure of the Northern Line for upgrades. The Yalrani train will operate between Omanthe and Kankasanture starting on the 27th.
The police request the public to remain highly vigilant regarding financial scams carried out through social media and telephone communications. Authorities are requesting citizens to follow necessary safety precautions in the face of such fraudulent activities. Numerous complaints have been lodged at various police stations reporting that fraudsters are deceptively soliciting money transfers into various accounts. These scams often involve false promises of employment, claims of winning prizes or threats of legal action based on fabricated charges that can perpetually be dropped in exchange for payment. Police observations indicate that scammers are employing diverse tactics to obtain confidential information, including bank account numbers, passwords, one-time passwords, and QR codes. Furthermore, the frauds are frequently executed through malicious internet links and scan codes. Reports have also emerged of scammers posing as bank officials to intimidate account holders, falsely claiming that drug traffickers have deposited money into their accounts. Under this duress, the victims are coerced into transferring funds to accounts provided by the fraudsters. The Mirihana Special Crimes Investigation Division has recently received information regarding several such rackets. Additionally, the Paduka Police Station has received complaints concerning individuals posing as police officers in attempts to obtain bank details and money. The police emphasized that the public should remain cautious and refrain from falling victim into these deceptive practices. Any information regarding such fraudulent activities should be reported immediately to the designated police hotline.
Sri Lanka Army says that they are able to save an amount of 18 million rupees, that's per year, due to the jeeps donated by the Indian Army. Well, the jeeps were officially handed over to the Sri Lanka Army during the visit of the Indian Army Chief Upendra Dwivedi as a symbol of bilateral relations between the two army chiefs of the two countries. According to Sri Lanka Army, it had to spend around 1.5 billion rupees per month for the vehicles hired on a rent basis from private sector so far for administrative and field duties of the army. With the addition of the new jeeps for duty, steps were taken to remove these hired vehicles and the government will be able to save more than 18 million rupees annually.
Centre for the Collection and Processing of Waste being discarded unsystematically has been declared open in Aluwata in Digana recently by Governor of the Central Province, Professor SBS Abenakun. Types of refuse, including plastic accumulated in the Kandy district, are being classified and cleaned at the centre. A private company has set up the new reprocessing centre, which generates income and provides direct and indirect job opportunities. 5 such processing centres already being established, centering upon Kandy in the Central Province and also in the Matale and Nuwara districts, as well as in the Kurunegala district in the Northwestern Province. A special type of plates has been provided for the patients undergoing treatment at the National Kidney Hospital in Polonnaruwa. The aim of the project is to minimize the release of plastic and polythene to the environment by assisting the Clean Sri Lanka program. Another unique feature is the ability to compartmentalize food using closed containers. A group of Sri Lankan students pursuing education in Australia are the sponsors of the program.
The Sabaragaon Provincial Council has taken steps to engage the Black Soldier Fly as a remedy to the decaying garbage problem of the province, and this is being implemented as an environment-friendly project. Well, the project is being already implemented as a pilot project to close to the Kandadola Garbage Recycling Centre by Ratnapura Urban Council. Black soldier fly is an insect which frequents around decaying garbage. The larvae of these flies are used in preparing compost fertilizer to produce anti-insect solutions. Many countries in the world produce nutritious food and beverage and cosmetics using this larva. It has also been stated that the larvae of the fly are rich in protein and fats. Organic fertilizer derived from the larva of the black soldier fly contain high quality as well. Since there is a great demand for the ingredients brought, this can be employed and used as a main route to bring in foreign exchange to the country. At least a minimum of 45 days required for decaying when garbage is recycled using microorganism traditionally, but somehow the garbage recycled done using this fly will take only 14 days for this purpose. An amount of 20 million rupees of grants have been estimated for the recycling program. It has been planned to implement is a joint venture and the government and a private institution. Parliamentarian Dr. Janaka Senaratna and a number of others joined in the inspection tour.
Now, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are celebrating a decade since they first started dating back in 2016. Taking to social media, the Dashes of Sex shared a rare romantic glimpse into their private life in Montecito. The post features a sweet black and white video of the couple dancing barefoot in their backyard to Olivia Dean's So Easy. The cinematographer behind the lens was none other than their 4-year-old daughter, Lilibet. Meghan captioned the clip, "When 2026 feels just like 2016, you had to be there," pairing the video with a throwback photo from their first year together. This nostalgic moment comes as Meghan opens up in an interview describing Harry as her safe space and praising his childlike wonder. The Dashes also gave insight into her busy life while revealing that Lilibet often joins her during board meetings. With that, we go on for a short break. We'll be back with more news from home after the break.
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Welcome back, and we have more local stories. The sacred relics of the Lord Buddha will be brought to Sri Lanka under full sponsorship of the Government of India. An exposition of the sacred relics is scheduled to be conducted at the Gangarama Vihare in Colombo from the 4th to the 11th of next month. The government has planned to grant an opportunity for the devotees to venerate the sacred relics at the Vihare during this period. The display of the sacred relics is to be conducted under the patronage of the government. Minister of Health and Mass Media Dr. Nalindu Jayatissa visited the Gangarama Vihare, Colombo this afternoon to look into the basic issues pertaining to the exhibition. The minister called on the chief incumbent of the Vihare, the Venerable Dr. Kirinde Assajithera, and discussed on the provision of the preliminary facilities for the devotees. The minister said that during the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Sri Lanka in April, the Prime Minister himself proposed an idea to bring the sacred relics to the country. He noted that upon this suggestion, the President of Sri Lanka requested the opportunity for the Sri Lankan public to pay their respects and worship these relics. Dr. Jayatissa emphasized that particularly following the Ditma cyclone, providing the nation with the spiritual blessings of great significance. The official announcement regarding sacred relic exposition was made by Minister Hinuduma Sunil Senavi yesterday. Making the announcement, the minister said that this historic event is organized as a joint state-sponsored private initiative between the governments of Sri Lanka and India. A preliminary planning discussion has already been concluded involving the Ministry of Buddha Sasana and the Department of Buddhist Affairs and the Indian High Commission, and a specialized delegation that arrived from India to oversee the logistics and security of the sacred artifacts. The exposition is scheduled to take place on February 4th to 11th at the Gangarama Temple in Hunupitiya, and he noted that the specific daily viewing hours and additional security protocols will be officially announced in the coming days.
නියමිතයි මේ පිළිබඳ වැඩි තොරතුරු ඉදිරියේදී
Sri Lanka's post-disaster Healing Sri Lanka initiative was officially praised by global leaders at the inaugural Global Caregiver Forum 2026 held recently in Madrid, Spain. The Minister of Women and Child Affairs, Saroja Savitri Paulraj, represented the nation to highlight strategic approaches for recovering from the country's recent severe natural disasters. Minister Paul Raj represented the country at the forum to highlight strategic approaches for recovering from the country's recent severe natural disasters. Addressing the forum, the minister said that the Healing Sri Lanka concept focuses on the psychosocial well-being and trauma recovery of parents to ensure high-quality family-based care for children. She emphasized that the government is implementing the set-up Child Health Program, a common preschool curriculum for 19,000 teachers by 2027 and a national strategic action plan for 2025 to 2029. She further noted that a 5-year district-level program is active for children with neurodevelopmental disorders such as autism, which was highly commended by international experts from UNICEF and the World Health Organization.
The driver of a bus died when it met with an accident in the early morning today at Uvadhanna area in Haldumulla. According to our correspondent, another 5 persons also have received injuries. Well, the bus travelling from Colombo met with this fatal accident at Uvadhanna area in Haldumulla around 1:30 am. The front door of the bus had suddenly opened while it was travelling and had crashed onto a nearby mound. While an effort was taken to close it, it was overturned and the driver was taken out of the bus with great difficulty, and 5 others injured were hospitalized immediately. Our correspondent reported that the driver succumbed to his injuries in hospital.
Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa states that 250 Arogya wellness centres will be established this year to strengthen the country's primary healthcare services. The minister shared these remarks while participating in the Arogya Mobile Health Clinic held yesterday at the Sri Dalada Maligava premises. The clinic was organised specifically for the staff of the Dalada Maligava and the members of the security forces. As non-communicable diseases have been identified as the primary challenge facing the nation's health sector, this program was organized for the 50th time as part of an ongoing series aimed at their prevention and control. This pilot project, which includes a wide range of medical clinics including eye care, dental care, blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, mental health and Ayurveda, was successfully implemented across several districts last year as well. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that the government will launch 42 new Arogya health centres across the country on 24th January, supported by a 1.5 billion rupee budget allocation. For regions currently lacking permanent infrastructure, the minister confirmed that mobile health clinics will be deployed to meet local needs. To modernize the system, he introduced e-Arogya, a digital platform designed to integrate various health services and provide citizens with easy access to their personal medical records. Dr. Jayatissa emphasized that these initiatives aim to shift the burden of health management for the individual to the state, ensuring the Ministry of Health takes full responsibility for the well-being of every citizen through technology and accessible care. Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Hansaka Vijayamani, and several others also participated in this program, which was organized under the Health Sri Lanka Innovative Initiative towards a healthier nation. Now, former parliamentarian Nandana Gunatilaka has passed away at the age of 63 years. The demise of Nandana Gunatilaka, who has remained indisposed for some time, was reported from the Ragama hospital this morning. He was attached to the Janata Vimukti Peramuna at one time and was also the presidential candidate of the party in the 1999 presidential election. Later on, he has switched side to the United People's Freedom Alliance and became the Minister of Tourism and Acting Minister of Posts and Telecommunications. Thereafter, he had joined the United National Party and held the post of Mayor of the Panadura Urban Council.
Moving on to a short weather update, the department says mainly dry weather will prevail in most parts of the island. The department has indicated the possibility of ground frost at some places in Nuwara district in the early hours of the morning, and misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern, and also north central and Uva provinces, and also in the Gaul and Matara and Ampara districts, and during the early hours of the morning. With this, there is a city weather forecast for the next 24 hours coming up.
Prima Stella. අපි හැමෝම කැමති.
President Donald Trump announces a wave of new tariffs targeting 8 friendly nations in a bold move to pressure them over his proposal to annex Greenland.
Well, this decision has sparked a firestorm of criticism from world leaders who are now weighing a unified response. President Donald Trump has officially announced new trade penalties for nations opposing the United States' ambition to acquire Greenland. Starting February 1st, 10% of the tariff will be imposed on all goods imported to the U.S. from 8 key allied nations: Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands and Finland. The president emphasized that these measures are critical for U.S. national security. He further warned that if an agreement regarding the annexation of the Greenland is not reached, these tariffs could climb to 25% by June. The backlash from European nations has been immediate and severe, with leaders across the continent uniting in their condemnation of the new trade measures. French President labelled the move unacceptable, while British Prime Minister described the decision as completely wrong, emphasizing that Greenland's future is a matter solely for the Danish and Greenlandic people. Meanwhile, the Swedish Prime Minister confirmed that the country has engaged in intensive discussions with Norway and the United Kingdom and EU partners to coordinate a unified response. He asserted that the targeted nations will not allow themselves to be blackmailed over territorial dispute. Meanwhile, Finland's president remarked that issues between friendly nations should be settled through dialogue, not pressure. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister of Norway has indicated that threats are inappropriate between allies. In the Netherlands, Foreign Minister confirmed the government is currently reviewing its options for a collective rebuttal. In Denmark, currently holding sovereignty of Greenland, its Foreign Minister expressed shock as the US President's announcement. European Union ambassadors are expected to convene an emergency meeting within the next 24 hours to discuss economic impact of the tariffs and a potential retaliatory strategy. As February 1st deadline approaches, all eyes are on Washington and Brussels to see if diplomacy can avert a full-scale trade war among the world's closest allies. Welcome back, and we are moving on to the sports news. Sri Lanka team were able to win the match played against Japan by 203 runs in the Under-19 ODI Cricket Cup tournament yesterday.
In a special feature, Viran Chamaditha of Sri Lanka team was able to score the highest runs scored so far by a player during the Youth World Cup Cricket Tournament. The World Cup Cricket Tournament is being held jointly in Zimbabwe and Namibia. In A group match, Sri Lanka and Namibia played in Namibia. Batting first, Sri Lanka scored 387 runs for 4 wickets in 50 overs. Viran Chamaditha and Dimanta Mahavithana added 328 runs for the opening wicket. This has been recorded as the highest partnership by 2 youth players for any wicket so far in this cricket ground. Viran Chamaditha, playing an excellent innings, scored 192 runs in 143 balls, which included 26 boundaries and a 6. He has earned the record for the highest number of runs by a player in the Under-19 ODI World Cup Cricket Tournament. Previously, the record was held by Hasith Boyagoda, scoring 191 runs against Kenya. This match, Dimanta Mahavithana scored 115 runs. In reply to the total of 387 runs scored by Sri Lanka, Japan were able to score only 184 runs in 50 overs. Hugo Cayley scored an unbeaten 101 runs. In their second match of the tournament, Sri Lanka will play against Ireland tomorrow.
Well, from cricket, we move on to cycling. Saranga Pereira of the Sri Lanka Army was the overall winner of the Lanka Ride Cycle Tour. The second place winner of the entire race had been SP Chandika of the Sri Lanka Navy, and the third overall winner of the Lanka Ride Cycle Tour was Sandroan Pinto of Sri Lanka Army. The Lanka Ride cycle tour has been organised this year after a lapse of 21 years. The first day's race ride got underway from the Lake House premises and ended in Gannoro in Kandy. On the second day, the race started from Gannoro and concluded in Anuradhapura. Today, the third and final day of the Lanka ride. The cycle tour and the competition had resumed from Anuradhapura town, reaching Colombo Independence Square, completing a distance of 208 kilometres. The third place winner of the third day, Dilshan Tarush of the Sri Lanka Air Force. The second place was secured by Praveen Sadev of the Super Sprint Sports Club. The winner of the third day's lap of the tournament was RTS Dayananda, who represented Sri Lanka Army. It was Saranga Pereira of the Sri Lanka Army who was the winner of the both trophies presented. For the fastest and the most able mountaineer of the race, the best youth cyclist was awarded to Deshan Kawinta of Flash Sports Club Jayala, and the prize giving was attended by a group of people including the Minister of Sports Sunil Kumar Gamage. Well, with that high energy, it's time to end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs. Together with Dulanjali, this is Clifford wishing you a good night.